with Assets and Arbitrage. I want to say it's our first broadcast of the year, but that's not true, is it? But when we go live next week, I'm gonna make that the first one of the year. So, um,
Yeah, we had a great 100th episode celebration with Crypto Ricardo Hamilton. It was a great celebration, and we look forward to another 100 episodes. What we want to say is stay stacking your sats, stay stacking your ounces. This is an interesting show. We got a few articles that we're going to go over, some interesting articles we found this week, and we thought it'd be something interesting to read over and see what's going on new into the new year 2024. But until then, let's let some people get into the room. Anything got going on?
I don't know, but I am shocked that Crypto Boom is not first with his
Oh,
boom.
come on,
If
Crypto
you know, you
Boom.
know it's first. Oh, he gonna be salty, y'all. It's BK Crypto. I'm sorry. Usually come in talking about boom.
Yeah, BK
Um,
Crypto.
so if you know it's first. Thank you so much for joining us as always. We are going to give people a little bit of time. It's Friday. A lot of people had off today or half days.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to give people time to get settled. I don't know if you guys have any New Year's Eve plans, but the living room is a great plan as well, y'all. Don't be ashamed. I'm not even gonna make it to the living room. I'm gonna be right here in my little bedroom suite. We don't even have a TV in our bedroom
Well,
suite,
you said
so
we're going to the store tonight.
no for New Year's Eve, Bubba.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's
we're not gonna be. I remember one year, y'all. Story time. I was big pregnant with Reginald. I had him 2 months later, so y'all know my little belly was big, and every single person wanted to touch my stomach that night. It drove me absolutely nuts. I said the next person who rubs my stomach is gonna get a face full of glass.
I remember them days.
I couldn't take it. I couldn't take it. But I am hoping that the new year brings you guys spiritual health, emotional health, physical health. I hope it brings y'all prosperity,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
abundance.
say.
I hope
Mm-hmm.
it brings y'all love, joy, some peace. It is going to be a tumultuous year
Yes.
inside the world. That's why they came out with Leave the World Behind. They trying to tell y'all something. Um, and I think Obama executive produced that. So you know he knows the stuff that's going on. And when he tell you to leave the world behind, honey, he telling y'all some real stuff. So, I definitely hope that each person is able to rule their household in a way that brings all of those wonderful blessings towards them so that we can have them collectively in spite of
Yeah,
what the cabal are planning.
and that is definitely something. She's right on that. It's going to be tumultuous.
It's very
That's a perfect
tumultuous.
word for it. So every week we're going to try to bring some information that can help. Can help everybody moving forward. We're supposed to also have Chief on tonight, so
He'll be
we're
on
waiting.
shortly.
Yeah, we're waiting for Chief. He'll be on shortly. We got a few people in the room, so boom, I'm gonna go over a couple articles that I found to be interesting. So you guys stay with me. So this is from oilprice.com. They have some great articles, oilprice.com. So what they say is the US states make bold move to reclassify gold and silver. So that's interesting. So the proposed legislation would remove barriers to using gold and silver as money by lowering transaction costs. The bill also aims to treat precious metals as legit tender, breaking down the Federal Reserve's monopoly on the money. The move is part of a larger effort at states level to support sound money and challenge the federal government's fiat currency system. So what that is, El Salvador had made Bitcoin legal tender, and what we see here is you see these states, the United States, trying to make gold and silver legal tender. So in Mississippi, Representative Doug Ritchie, he filed HB 1807, I'm sorry, 1867 on December 11th, So I'm sorry.
HB means House Bill.
Okay. On December 11th, and Representative Bill Hardwick filed HB 1955 on December 15th. These bills are companions to SB Senate Bill 735, filed in the Senate by Senator William Engel, and earlier this month. So what you see is you see a few things going on where people are trying to remove the monopoly from the Federal Reserve so that you can actually use gold and silver as legal tender. What do you think about that? I had a few more things to read, but we'll get into it.
I want to welcome Alpha Robbins to the room. Thank you so much for
indeed.
joining us. We're just going to give you some updates on what they're going to be doing with real money, right? So now we can call it money. So in relation to the House bill and the Senate bill, they are very well aware of the fact of all of the money that's being dumped by all of the different countries, with the BRICS nation coming up with their own currency. They understand that the dollar is tumbling, right? Pride goeth before the fall.
Mm-hmm.
Dollar used to be king, and now it's a peasant.
Yeah.
Or at least it's on the road to becoming a peasant.
Mm-hmm.
In the US, you guys can see the hyperinflation. You can see the superinflation when you go to the supermarket and stuff.
Yes.
But you really see it in other countries. So when we got here to Mexico, for those of you who don't know, we live full time in Mexico. It was 25, I think, was the highest we ever went.
Yeah,
25 pesos to $1 US. Y'all, it is down to 16 pesos to $1. And while that may not be a big deal in your minds, it's a big deal, honey, because you have to see that as almost percentages off.
Mm-hmm.
Or on, depending on how you look at it. So instead of your rent being one thing, it's now much higher. When you go to the ATM, even if you're like, I always take out 7,000 pesos, you have to understand that what it was, it's even higher now. So you're not getting the same, you're still getting a bang for your buck, right? But you're not getting the same bang for your buck. So if you were getting, 75% off your rent, now you're only getting like 60% off your rent. And you feel it. You can feel it because it's everywhere. It's your rent, it's the car note, it's the groceries, it's travel, it's any and everything that you do, you're paying more for. Right? And I do understand that in the US, even though you're using dollars for everything, you go into the supermarket, you pay more. Y'all, I don't know if it's cold there. I've been seeing some weird videos and stuff where people's plants and stuff are sprouting flowers. They're doing weird things. So it makes me feel like it may not be as cold as it usually gets. Y'all, it's cold here. You hear me? My house is freezing because outside of the US, we don't have HVAC. So we do have to use heaters, portable heaters, et cetera, and we are working them overtime. It's really, really unusually, not unseasonably, but it's unusually cold here.
Yeah, so let me go into a couple other things they want to do. In Oklahoma, Senator Shane Jett filed SB 1607, and Senator Nathan Dom is running SB 1508. So what these are going to do is the enactment of any of these bills would eliminate state capital gains taxes on the state and exchange of gold and silver bullion. And that's the most important part. You can now exchange state, if these are passed, I should say, you can exchange gold and silver bullion without capital gains taxes. And that is very important because it will be seen as money, money as it is.
And gold and silver are what we call sound money.
Yes.
Right? We know that silver's been used as tender for over 6,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
All my Bible scholars, y'all know Jesus got betrayed for 30 pieces of silver. Jesus often told parables about talents Those of you who don't know what talent is actually 75 pounds of silver. So when he talk about this story, he's talking about abundance, he's talking about prosperity and stuff like that.
Yes.
Hey Cryptonomics, how you doing? He always come in with this up. What's up?
And
Go ahead,
what I
baby.
was gonna say before you go on is, what these bills will also do, it takes a step forward to treating gold and silver as money instead of commodities.
Yes.
And that's a big deal. That's definitely a big deal because, like we said, the capital gains tax will go down. It will be treated as money now. The How you go about doing that is going to be a little bit more difficult than just having these bills placed.
Can you remember the name of the effect where you will typically spend your dollars before you spend your silver?
Mm-hmm.
It begins with a G and it escapes me. But the
Okay.
idea is this particular effect is you are going to hoard your silver and your gold, and you're going to try to get rid of your dollars before spending your silver and gold because it's more valuable if these bills pass.
Right.
It's more valuable. But it looks like there are multiple. Are they multiple bills because they're multiple states?
Yes, there's four. There's two Senate bills and there's two House bills.
How many states are involved?
Okay, let me go back.
I know you said something about Mississippi.
Mississippi, Missouri, Oklahoma. So it looks like three states are involved as of now.
Right. So this isn't even like nationwide. It's not a federal thing. And you'll only be able to utilize it if they pass as legal tender in those three states. So that's something to look at. But also, if those states set precedents and those bills do get passed and they see successful use of the transactions between silver and whatever, whether it's your rent or items, et cetera, then other states probably will follow suit.
Most definitely. And that's definitely a big thing. As we on here, we talk about Bitcoin, we talk about other cryptocurrencies, but this is also a big thing because people like to diversify. They like to diversify, right? They want to have a little bit of precious metals. They want to have some Bitcoin. They want to have some other precious metals. I'm sorry, other what do you call them?
Commodities.
Other cryptos, and then other things like that. So it is a way that you can diversify your portfolio. And I read yesterday, since 1913, the dollar has been devalued 99.7%. So
still got a way to go, I guess.
So yeah, so you wanna get something else in there to diversify your portfolio. And this is just, like I said, this is just the beginning of 2024, something that we can keep our eye on moving forward.
That effect is gonna drive me crazy though.
The effect.
It begins with a G though. So the effect is, like I said, you're gonna want to get rid of your dollars before offloading any silver or gold because it's more valuable.
Right. Yes, indeed.
Yes, hi, KW1. How you doing, sweetheart?
Hello, KW1.
Cryptonomics. Good news. Gold will be coming back down to $1,000.
Well, I'm glad that you said that, Cryptonomics, because I have another article over here I want to go over. XX Empire. So it's gold, silver, platinum forecast. Gold gains ground as dollar falls towards multi-month lows. So, so what you want to see here the key insight: gold has continued in its attempt to settle above 2065, and it has leveled as the dollar remains under pressure. Silver was mostly flat as gold silver ratio moved higher. So the gold silver ratio has been hanging out 81 to 1, a little bit above that. Platinum tested the key resistance at 990 to 1,000. So that's some of the I'm saying dollars. So that's some of the key things. Gold ground as the US dollar is making towards multi-month lows, which is bullish for commodities, right? As we said, is commodities moving towards monetary. Successful test of the resistance at 2065 to 2075 with open weight all the way the rest to 2100 levels. So that's what you're looking for with the gold. Down here you're seeing. But you do want to tell them dollars in case they're not familiar with this jargon, baby. Okay, yes.
Like you talking to them, like you talking to me.
I'm sorry, $2,100. That is the level that they're looking for, and that would be resistance at the gold level. Down here at the silver level, silver's been trading very flat You're seeing a lot of it hanging out at the $24 level, and it has a chance to reach 25, 30. Very small window. But also remember when the gold to silver ratio, when it starts to change, gold, silver will take off. So that's something you always want to keep in mind. And then with platinum's hanging out $990 to $1,000, and that's the key resistance. So, for people who like to invest in platinum, and these are the levels that you may want to be watching over the months to come, as you always watch the dollar. So, these are important levels to keep an eye on, everyone. And, just wanted to bring that up. Cryptonomics say it'll go back down to $1,000. That's a far fall. I don't know about that, but
That
that's a
ain't
pretty
happening.
far fall. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to go down that far. That's almost
Yeah,
that's a
I was here.
60% loss.
He said gold won't go any higher than 2136 back down. I don't know that it'll touch 1,000 cryptonomics. And then we get the fireworks. Nerd Up Inc., thank you so much for joining us. Hi, Chief.
What's
Thank you
happening?
so much for joining us.
How y'all doing?
Any plans for the new year?
Yeah, chilling. Shit.
It is.
You gonna do your New Year's from your living room?
What do you mean?
Some people like they're not going out. They're not spending
Oh
any
nah,
money.
I
Right?
stopped going out.
Real.
Like it's been about 15, almost 20 years since I done went out, man.
Oh, so you celebrated at home anyway
Hell
with the
yeah.
babies.
I wanna
Okay.
bring the year in with the people I'm gonna be with, man. I don't want to be with some people out there that's acting all stupid and drunk.
You already know.
BK Crypto, boom. You weren't first today, and it's the first time in a long time, BK Crypto. But I know you're going to be first next show.
The man. Anybody else you want to
I
welcome?
already did that, baby.
Okay, well, the last thing I wanted to read over, then we could just go into chopping up some good game. This is from oilprice.com once again. A fifth of global oil trade used non-dollar currencies in 2023.
Non-dollar. So they're not using the dollar in order to do the transactions.
Oh,
So that's something we've been talking about all year with BRICS nations, mostly China and Russia, but everybody. So this is going to continue year over year. So and that, like we said a few episodes ago, that is a way of war, right? And so what would you guys like to say on that? Dollar getting beat down in oil trade globally.
Well, I think we're already seeing the cascading effects. I call it like the pebble ripple. You know, you have a tiny pebble, right? And you throw it in the water, and the first ripples are kind of small and close together, and then the ones out get bigger and bigger, and that ripple effect goes out further than you think. Hi, Dearbit. Thank you so much for joining us. So like I said, the fact that we're looking at Senate bills, House bills for states to find a different means of tender, right? Because there's no more really propping up the dollar. They've been propping up the dollar for so long, y'all, that yeah. Am I showing my age when I talk about Weekend at Bernie's? If y'all remember the movie Weekend at Bernie's, Bernie was the dollar, and the two dudes that was trying to like,
I can't remember their names, but yeah,
I can't remember their names, but that's the Fed. You know what I'm saying? And Bernie's dead. They're putting sunglasses on him. They're walking with him in his arms. He's waving at people. He's on the beach. And during the whole movie, it's a comedy because it looks like Bernie's alive, but everyone viewing the movie knows that Bernie is dead. And that is what is happening with the dollar, right? You said 99.7%?
Since 1913, 99.7% has lost that much of its purchasing power.
Right. So it only has 0.93% to go. And that number is probably generous.
Yeah.
With the non-dollar transactionings happening.
Yeah.
And you said a fifth of oil trades. I'm sure that number is even bigger, right? Because they always have those backdoor dealings and stuff like that. But those dollars are swiftly going to be returning to U.S. shores. and we
Yeah,
are going
they're
to.
not gonna be using the US Treasury or the federal the Fed Treasury notes anymore for that shit, man. They stopped that like last month. It's a few countries that's doing it in their own currencies. And it's just the way of the world. And it's just fitting because currencies themselves only last for so long anyway. They don't last that long.
Anyway,
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah, so they say
They're like
I got a good
100-year
book on
life
currency.
cycles at the most.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're about 47 years in currencies. The longest currency out here is the British pound, which
Yeah.
is about almost 250 years old.
They did a great job propping that up.
Yeah.
When the British pound first came out, you were supposed to be able to get 12 troy ounces of silver.
Yeah.
And so now it's lost about 99.9% of its value. So, this is what we have to deal with out here, y'all. This is what we have to deal
But
with.
the problem is when I say all those dollars come back to U.S. shores, the people will be left holding the bag literally, and the bag isn't worth anything.
Yeah.
So if y'all think y'all are seeing inflation now, like I said, 2024 forecasting it is going to be an extremely tumultuous year, right? But the idea is to get as ready as possible and stay ready as possible in order to mitigate the volatility that is going to come, and not just with the dollar, just there's a lot of stuff happening, y'all. It's a lot
Oh yeah,
of
it's a
stuff.
lot. I want to apologize to the people out here. I had to take some pain medicine, so my reading isn't as crispy as I would like it to be. But I'm gonna push through, anyways. One of the things I wanted to talk about is saving your money. No longer saving in dollars, but what can you be saving your money in? Because you're just constantly losing purchasing power.
Yes.
If you save your money in a dollar or a British pound, euro, whatever you might be saving in. What is something that you would save in?
Definitely precious metals. Y'all know we've been talking about precious metals from day one. And the fact that there's a possibility that you can utilize it as legal tender at some point in the near future, it's possible and probable. You definitely want to push that to the side because you might actually need it. We always dollar cost average in Bitcoin to help obviously mitigate the volatility of it. But right now is a great time to be stacking it.
Yeah, stacking it. And for the people out there who are you guys help me in the comment section. Is it I think it's bit wage where you can be paid in Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's bit wage.
But I think it's bit wage or bit pay,
It's
but I'm
bit
pretty
wage.
sure it's bit wage.
Yeah.
You can just take a portion, like even if you just want a 25% moved over to Bitcoin, and then you use the rest of the 75% to pay your bills or do whatever you have to do. So there's always things going on out there where you can save in other ways.
XRP is up and coming,
Yep.
right? So there's a lot of institutions who are going to need to utilize it to take care of their sideline transactions. Grizz, I don't know if you want to go a bit further into the scaling up and scaling out of XRP.
Yeah, I mean, XRP is one of them assets that's going to be very, like, to have it after a while. I would say within about 10 years, if you have XRP, you're going to be like really good. A lot of people don't understand what it is, and they don't understand like why you would need it, because there's a lot of people who think that there's only a certain amount of assets, like the top two, Bitcoin and Ethereum, that's going to make it, but that's not the case. Bitcoin and Ethereum are great assets. I hold both of them. I own both of them. But when it comes to liquidity and when it comes to scalability, it's just like with anything else. We are in a digital age right now. And in order to do certain things, you're going to have to be able to have your operating systems, have your financial sectors be able to scale to a certain level. And right now, even with the Lightning Network and even with, the what they did with Ethereum was it last year when they did something with Ethereum last year to make it faster or whatever. You know, that's fine and it's still going to be used. But when it comes to using something that's pennies on a dollar or at a lower value in order to be able to use it and to scale a network and to get liquidity and to do smart contracts, all of that stuff, it's going to be something like an XRP for wholesale, and then an XLM for retail, XDC for trade finance. Algorand's going to be over in in the mix as well, and they got a foothold in the medical field. Quant's going to be making sure that everything can talk to everything. So if you hold a lot of Bitcoin and you want to, get some of it, get liquidity for some of it, or use some of it to do certain things in certain platforms that aren't that aren't BSC, like that doesn't support BSC, then Quant is going to allow you to be able to do that. I mean, it's just this. We're about to go through some. We are about to go through some stuff as far as the digital age that is going to not take us by surprise, but we're going to change the way we go about doing things, and it's going to be phased in to a point to where you can use the infrastructure that we have in place right now alongside of what you got. So you may be doing something thinking that you're doing something the old way, when in all actuality on the back end, it's being converted without you even knowing that you're using different assets out there. And it's gonna be, I think it's interesting, man. I mean, things will be, some things are going to change, some things are going to get scary, but if you are in the realm of look into things and do a little bit of research, find out about where the world is going with the financial sector, with the with everything else, then you should be okay. I mean, you just got to keep your eyes open and stay alert. And the only thing that's constant is change. Shit's gonna change, man. You can think that stuff's gonna stay the same all you want to, but it's not. It's not gonna happen. So, I mean, but it'll be very interesting. Another thing that you have to understand too is what they're gonna end up doing. The reason why, some of these digital asset companies started doing things with like a custody company like Matico, Ripple Matico, because it's going to be legislation passed in all countries. Okay, not just the US, it's going to be in all countries. In order to use these digital assets, you're going to have it's going to have to be custody. Okay, and that's part of what the banks are going to do. The central banks, as we know it, is going to change. I think from everything that I've been reading and listening to, I think what's going to happen, they're going to lose out on a lot of the bullshit fees and all that stuff that they do with us right now that's like lightweight unfair. They're still going to be able to make money, but they're going to be able to make money in different ways to where a lot of regular folks are going to be included in some things if they hold certain assets and if they, aren't just out there with blinders on. If you keep your head up, keep your head on a swivel, and think about what you're doing, and just do some research, we should be okay. I mean, like Aaron was saying, it's going to be some shit. It's going to be some changes, and it's going to be some things that's going to go by the wayside, but there's also going to be some good things that come into light, and you're going to be able to make some value out of some of these assets that you hold. I wouldn't be the type of person that's going to just look into just getting one or two assets. The more diversified that you are with assets that aren't meme tokens, the better off I feel, the better off you can be. I mean, it's a lot of meme tokens on there. What
I know. That's why I laughed when
last
you
year
said
they was making money off of Pepe token. It's a fucking frog, man. I mean,
the froggy.
it's bullshit, but you know, it's out there, and you know, it was a rug pull on it. It was just one of them things where people was getting liquidity out of it. They was just taking your money. You just got to be careful.
I want to welcome. Oh, sorry, Chris.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, my bad.
I want to welcome Rob Jet Life. Thank you so much for joining us. He said, what about custody companies and mining? Being a homeowner, what about self-mining? Now, Rob, I do know that a lot of self-miners live in places where energy is cost efficient, and right, you got to understand when you're doing something, you just want to make sure that what you're doing doesn't outcost what you're trying to reap. You understand what I'm saying? Is it trying to reap or trying to sow? Trying to reap. Right? You reap something. So, like for instance, I know it sounds crazy, but a lot of miners had moved to China, didn't they?
Yeah, they moved to China. They got moved out of there. A lot of people ended up moving to Texas.
Yeah, they got moved out of there. I do remember
out of China
that.
into Texas. And
so you really got to do your due diligence on that. And I just want to just kind of, a couple shows ago, we talked about all of these companies that were laying off here in Q1 of 2024. Duke Energy, which has a significant market share in the United States, laid off a significant portion of their workforce.
Yeah.
And with that being said, that is something you definitely need to kind of take into consideration wherever you are. If you're thinking about self-mining, the equipment is expensive, mining is expensive, the halving, you got to think about that, right? So it's not like it was when we first kind of started this thing. So you want to just make sure you do your due diligence and take all of the counterparty risks, is what my husband would call it. The counterparty risks in mind. You should be so proud of me.
No.
He taught me all of that, y'all. Sitting there all proud.
No, you got it, and he's exactly right.
Look at my baby girl.
But it is something that you want to keep in mind. Some of the different mining, because you can mine some. I mean, I don't know if he's talking about mining some of the top coins.
Oh yeah, I kind of was thinking Bitcoin, but you're right.
Some other coins you can also be mining as well. We used to mine. What was that? XYO and I forget what the other.
It was so fun mining XYO, and then I got caught in a scam, and all my XYO was gone. Yeah. But that was so much fun because that was at the time when we used to travel a lot. And mining the XYO, it was your phone, and when you go places, they got these little drops, and if you go to certain places, you get these bonus XYO. That was the most fun I had with crypto ever. And then I got caught in a stupid scam because I wasn't looking at the domain, and they took my XYO, and I never did it again. So that's Rob Jet Life. And then KW1 said, KW1 was not correcting, but adding to what you were talking about, Chris.
Yeah.
The Shanghai upgrade. It went from proof of work to proof of stake. Yeah. So that's awesome.
Proof of stake made it. Proof of stake made it deflationary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I couldn't think of the words.
Let me ask you something, Grizz. Chief. Like when you go to find people like to to get information from, how do you vet them out? Do you vet them out?
I mean,
that's a good question.
If it's a company, I look it up. You know, you look up the company.
You talking about like the news company?
No, well, like, you know, if I'm looking at like a website like Coin Bureau or whatever.
Oh yeah, those are good.
Yeah, stuff like that. I mean, you can kind of tell what's bullshit if they got a whole bunch of like thumbnails.
Somebody might think we full of shit.
And hype thumbnails, you know. Yeah, I mean, everybody can be full of shit at some point, you know. But it depends on from knowing from finding out about these digital assets and knowing what they do. You know, anybody can look up what a digital asset does. I look at
Mhm.
the company that created the digital asset, why they created it, and what their plan is going into the future. As far as like, I mean, the reason why I'm so big on XRP, and don't think I ain't no XRP maxi, I'm a utility maxi. And when I say I'm a utility maxi, that means I look for assets that's going to bring some type of value to the overall ecosystem. Is it going to provide liquidity, interoperability, security? What is it going to do? And I ain't no trader. I'll just hodl that shit because the value of it is going to be in the protocol of the digital asset that you're looking at. I mean, if whatever it's doing, if it's providing liquidity, you put something in, it makes the conversion, you get something else out. If it brings things together, sits in the middle, you got a digital ledger on one side, you got a blockchain on another, it allows them to communicate. If it's something like a token that you need to run a certain program in order to secure it, the more you have of it, the more you're secure you are. If it's bringing security, stuff like that. I just read up on it, listen to people on YouTube and read up on PDFs. I'm into trying to find people who find PDFs because these companies they're not gonna, a lot of people are looking at some of these financial companies that hold seminars that are recorded that they're talking about the financial system and what they're going to do. Okay. It's a lot of stuff out there that, that only have a couple of hundred views, but this shit's it's legit. Yeah, it's legit. And it's going to make a mark.
It's just dry
in this ecosystem. So that's what I do. I mean, it's kind of, I mean, as far as vetting, we really can't totally all the way 100% vet anything. We can just see if they are full of shit or not, and 9 times out of 10, if you have if you're looking at an asset that is doing something that's not just like I said, like a meme token, then, don't get me wrong. If y'all hold meme tokens out there, y'all can make money off of it because when it goes up, you'll get some. I hold 1% of my portfolio has a meme token, and I mean because it's good to have. I mean, but it's good to have that like that.
I know, but it's just funny when you say meme token.
I mean, that's what it is.
I know. Hubby taught me definitely look at the market cap. What else, baby?
Yeah, and look at the market cap. Some of the if they have a white paper, stuff like that.
The white paper for sure, and them papers be so dry, y'all.
Yeah, but if you look at an asset and it's only like 2 paragraphs on the white paper, I try to stay away from them. I don't fuck with them.
Yeah.
If it's got a long ass white paper, then they put a little bit of time into putting
some information. Might have a significant technical aspect to it where the white paper is going to be long.
Yeah.
And then and then the people, because I've been in the space for a while, so some of the people who I feel comfortable with, I will always go back and hear what they have to say.
Yeah.
About it.
Yeah, and not like I said, I'm listening to them 100%, but just I respect them and I understand, some of the people that came from Wall Street, Goldman Sachs, they go way back. So, I listen to some of the information they have. So,
for sure.
So it's just all about just having a little bit of diversity in the people that you try to listen to.
Oh yeah.
In order to vet.
Yeah, like somebody like a Raw Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, then when it comes to gold and silver, Miles Franklin, Andy Sheckman is real deal because he know what he's talking about. He's been in it for 30 something years or whatever. And what
Scott Melker. Scott Melker is the dude for technicals, y'all.
Yeah, Scott
and he
Melker.
Love hip-hop, so he's gonna hit you with those little teeny tiny references that's gonna make you
Yeah. Now, believe it or not, Scott Melker is he was a Bitcoin maxi. He's starting to come down a little bit off of it because he's realizing some of these assets are doing things. I mean, you know, and to be honest with you, every Bitcoin maxi is going to have to come down off their pedestal. If they come out with these ETFs, Bitcoin is not going to be. Bitcoin is going to be mainstream and it's going to be part of. Bitcoin is going to be owned by BlackRock. Bitcoin is going to be owned by Michael Saylor. Bitcoin is going to be owned by all that. It ain't going to be that down with the bank shit and all of that.
They're going to take the rest, which is interesting because I do have some news. Bitcoin worth $1 billion left the exchange in the largest single day outflow in 12 months, is CoinDesk. Net outflows from exchanges are often taken to represent investors' intention to hold their coin for long term. The on-chain activity continues to support a bullish case for Bitcoin, but on Wednesday, today's Friday, right? So on Wednesday, over 28,000 Bitcoin worth 1.19 billion left centralized exchanges. This was the largest single day outflow in Bitcoin terms since December 14, 2022. So on or about the same time last year.
Yeah.
According to the data tracked by Glassnode.
Yeah.
Net outflows from exchanges are often taken, we just said that, to represent the intention to take direct custody of coins or preference for a long-term holding strategy. So that's interesting. I do want to see it again next year, December. Granted that the good Lord don't come to get us. 2024 is going to be something, y'all, right? 15 billionaires this week finish completion on their underground bunkers. That is how I know 2024 is going to be something, right? When you have these billionaires spending a significant amount of money to create underground bunkers, you know it's about to get real, right? So I want y'all to make sure you're still getting your extra, your food, right? Non-perishable goods, extra medicine. If you do not have a medical kit, that's not the word I want to use, but like, you know, a medical kit at home. Gauze pads, first aid kit. Thank you, Grizz. You know, gauze pads. If you take oregano and olive oil, you can make your own antibiotics. So you definitely want to do that. What'd you say, babes?
Bug out bag for sure, if you can get one.
You get your hands on a bug out bag, spend money on that. But you definitely, like, they're getting ready. Grizz always says, I want to put my pennies where they put their dollars. But I also see when they're doing something to get safe, we need to do whatever we can to get safe too, right? Yeah. I told y'all, I have a sneaking suspicion that for the first time in a long time, the U.S. is going to see some type of physical conflict on U.S. shores, right? I am certain of it. So where that's going to be, I don't know. But you absolutely want to not allow the Diddy, TD Jakes thing and all that other crap to distract you because they're making that really, really big news. And whenever you see they take like outings, when they're going to out somebody or humiliate somebody or something like that, you want to know, what are y'all doing behind the scenes that you're presenting this thing to me as a big, huge deal? Yeah. I don't care if you do prison or not. What are y'all doing behind that? Exactly. So, you know, stack your silver, stack your gold. If you can afford gold, absolutely. Tax season starts on January 31st, right? We're not taking our tax refunds to Red Lobster. We're not taking it to the Cheesecake Factory. We're not taking it to the club and buying bottles. We are taking it to a commodities exchange, hopefully gold or silver, hopefully some type of Bitcoin or whatever token, whatever it is you're in.
And you know what I found interesting that last week Crypto Rick had mentioned, I haven't seen that movie. What's it called?
Leave the World Behind.
But he was talking about they came to him.
We should watch it.
For some medication. And all he had was $1,000, I believe.
And dude didn't want the fiat currency. He wanted, you know, to barter something of value. If you know, bought 2 first aid kits, one for him, one for his grandmother's house. Absolutely. Also, right, we have supercomputers in our pockets. We're talking on a supercomputer right now. Definitely look at organic ways to make the things you need. Like I said, oregano and olive oil, you put it, it's got to sit in a dark glass though. So y'all got to buy like, they have a name for it.
Like a dark mason jar.
Yeah, but we got a name for it. We're medical. I can't think of the name of it now, but like an occluded jar, right? For about 5 or 6 weeks in a dark, cold place, and then it'll create the antibiotic you need. Silver is microbial. Cryptonomics said gold 1,400 to 1,000 is definitely coming down. Is my point. It's coming down. I just don't know if those numbers are. I don't know if it's going to hit that for resist. That's all I'm saying. I know it's going to come down. I don't know if it's going to come down that low. However, tax season is coming, so it don't matter how much gold is. You should be able to afford it. Those of you who get large tax returns, and you definitely want to invest your tax return in something of value.
Yeah. And I'm going to go in on next show that probably on One Gold. It's a platform where you can get gold and silver, platinum and palladium, and you can also get a card, and that way you can use it like the chief say, interoperably. You can just use it however you need to use it, and because gold and silver become, I say, cumbersome, right? If you buy enough, it'll become cumbersome. So you want to be able.
You talking from experience?
Yeah, it'll become cumbersome, man. So you want to be able to have some, in the cut and stuff like that. But we'll talk about that. I believe next show and the next few shows. But just all these things. I don't know if she mentioned firearms for my people out there, my ex-military. But you don't even have to be ex-military. You might get your firearm game up.
If you get firearms, please get trained on how to discharge your weapon. There is nothing more dangerous than an owner of a firearm who does not know how to discharge their weapon, disassemble their weapon, assemble their weapon, keep their weapon clean, clear their weapon, right? There's a responsibility that comes with it. We watch too many BET rated B movies and think that you can just fire a firearm, and you can't, right? So it's very, very important they come with great responsibility, right? And then just understanding how you gonna feel if you have to take someone's life with that firearm, if you accidentally take someone's life with that. There's a lot that go with it, and I want you to give it that amount of thought. That's all I'm saying, right? Women, you probably should take a defensive, like where you can do like combat. Men are typically stronger than women, but there are ways to take men down relatively quickly without having to do too much hand-to-hand combat. So you should take some type of training in that. I think it's worth the money. I'm not sure. I'm sure it's a couple $100. I think it's worth the money. Anti-kidnapping courses are big here in Mexico because of the kidnapping. But just understand that most people want soft targets, right? If you look kind of imposing, if you start looking people in the eye, if you're very direct with them, they typically don't want to deal with you on that level. So there's that. Oh, for a couple shows, I talked to you guys about a famine that was supposed to come in 2022. Notice that it never came. Understand that how this thing works is that they create the problem and then they give you the solution in order to make it seem like they are endearing to the people. That famine that was forecasted for 2022 never came. I suspect 2024 is the year, right? They've been burning the food factories. They've been burning the crops. We're doing non-dollar trades with countries for oil, but just imagine if we import food from those countries, we're going to be doing non-dollar trades with the food too. It's just that the article was about oil. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And the United States imports a lot of food. They import way more food than they make. So this is why, I'm just saying 2024 is going to be a tumultuous year. So we really just kind of, and this ain't supposed to be doom and gloom. This is just get ready, be ready, right? We've been getting ready for this all year long. Um, it is kind of easy to grow certain things in your home, right? So, like, peppers, romaine lettuce, scallion, little baby onions. There's certain things you can kind of grow in your home. Fruits are a little bit more difficult, I think, because the amount of sunlight they need. But from the videos I've been watching, it looks like you guys are having maybe a weird, I don't know. People who do grow plants and crops are saying their crops are blooming even though it's December. And it's a weird thing. So I would go ahead and capitalize on this wonderful, miraculous thing that's happening and try to start growing some stuff in the crib, right?
Yeah, a
Um,
lot of that stuff is happening because
is it warm?
it's yeah,
Warmer?
the planet's getting warmer. You know, the sun.
It's cold as hell
We're
here.
we're we're in a 13,000 year cycle. We're at the end of our 13,000 year cycle to where the sun is going to be throwing off a lot of solar flares. That's part of the reason why they got the bunkers going too, because it's going to get hotter over the next coming years.
Got it.
All right. And there's only going to be a certain amount of people who are going to be able to withstand the heat. And we are part of those people. Some of the people that's doing that know that, yeah, I think I'm with you when it comes to there may be some type of skirmish or
Something that doesn't typically
something
happen
warlike
is going to
that's
hit
going
those
to,
shores. Yeah.
yeah, because with the amount of immigrants that they just letting in, a lot of those are male immigrants or so-called
The
immigrants.
majority of them. I don't see no
And a
children.
lot of them are military trained, and a lot of them are not Hispanic. They are East Asian, and they are from like the Ukraine area and Russian. Like over it where I am in Cincinnati, man, the Russian population has like quadrupled over the past 10 years.
And the idea that we're at war with them in a sense is actually kind of scary because you don't know where their intentions lie.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it's gonna be a lot of stuff going on, you know. But this realm that we on is gonna keep on going. It's gonna change because everything changes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, get ready, and stay ready so you won't have to get ready. You know, I'm looking at my water right now. Every time I go to Costco, I get me at least 2 cases of water.
Grizz got like 75 cases of water. And this was before we ever did this show.
Yeah. And I don't even drink bottled water anymore because I got a water that I got a thing that alkalizes my water. But if the water grid gets cut off, I still got bottled water. So every time I go to Costco, I get bottled water. I got canned foods. I got canned, salmon, canned tuna, canned chicken. Then I get canned vegetables. I got stuff. I got, Ziploc bags that I can put stuff in. I got rice. I'm looking at my basmati or my jasmine rice right now. I usually get the big burlap bags of. I got one inside of basmati rice, so I got basmati.
Oh, that's so good.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
I love
basmati rice and jasmine rice.
Mm-hmm.
We keep paper towels on deck. We keep toilet paper on deck. I got my my heavy duty trash bags. It's all kind of stuff that you can do. I got a bug out bag right behind me.
Just little by little, you just start building.
And you'll be surprised. You can look on Amazon. Just type in bug out bags, and you'll see a whole bunch of shit. And a lot of them come with a first aid kit. I got one of those radios, a handheld radio. I bought a burner with propane tanks. Little propane things where the burner is about this big.
Hot top. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like your portable stove.
Well, I'm gonna
Plug
tell
that
you
thing
something
in,
interesting.
light
It's
it.
colder here than it's ever been before. So the fact that you're getting unseasonably warm weather, I mean, Simon and I were talking, we've been here 7 years,
Yeah,
baby.
it's cold. It's been cold.
Like, I'm
The
talking like New
poles,
York cold.
Yeah.
the
Like
13, the
January, New York cold.
13,000 year cycle. The 13,000 year cycle is when the poles shift. There's an electromagnetic field that's on the planet, and it's Mother Kai, Mother Earth. She was called Kai at one time. She does what she needs to do,
Yeah, it's cold.
and the poles are shifting. You know, the Antarctica is the reason why they have military bases for all the countries, not
Mm-hmm.
just the US. All countries are up in the
Yeah.
Antarctic region. And it's because there's a lot up there, and there is a route up there to get to another place inside of the planet.
Yeah. That
People
they're
don't
protected.
think that, yeah, there's a whole, I used to talk to my daddy about this. I was raised with my grandfather. My grandfather was 87 years old when he died, and I was in my early 30s, I think. But
Wow.
he was a minister, you know, he was an old school preacher, but he wasn't the type of old school preacher that, you know, it was his way or the highway. He liked to pick my brain and think about stuff. And I used to ask him about, you know, you think we are the only entities, the only intelligent entities anywhere? And he was like, no. He was like, you'd be stupid to think that, you know, so-called human beings are the only intelligent life forms anywhere. There are other entities that we're going to come encounter or come in contact with. Some of them will be benevolent. Some of them may not be. That will, you know, change our overall life. Some of us ain't going to be able to handle it. Some of us, you know, you see some shit that you know, because they telegraph stuff in movies. All right. They telegraph stuff in movies. They telegraph stuff in shows. And what it is they give you little golden nuggets. You're going to see stuff, man. And, you know, for you to think that we're the only intelligent life forms on this realm, that's not a good way of thinking, because why would you be so arrogant to think that we are the only intelligent beings anywhere? That doesn't make sense. If you really look at it and strip down all the bullshit and look at it logically, why would you think that this place called Earth is the only intelligent place anywhere? That does not make sense. There's different universes, galaxies. There's different planes of existence that people just because we don't know everything. There are a very few people that know things that they're not going to put out to the public because they feel that the public can't handle it. And some can't. Let's be honest. Y'all know some people that, you know, you tell them some stuff and they're like, oh, you crazy. Or they'll see some stuff and they'll lose their mind, have a heart attack, whatever. You got to keep your mind open to different things, because you never know what you may encounter, you know.
This is true. Did you want to? I didn't know people came in the room. Did you want?
I do want to welcome Reek W. Thank you so much for joining us.
Who was that one?
Reek W. The last one.
Oh, the last one. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, you know, it's a bunch of shit that we are at that time in existence to where, you know, we're gonna see a lot different things. Just like I always felt, something always told me, like, and you can feel certain things, your first mind. My mama used to call it your first mind. She always used to tell me when I was a young teenager, always follow your first mind. Meaning usually the first thought that you have is usually right, because the universe will speak to you and it'll tell you different things. And if you're listening, it's usually the correct thing that it's telling you. I mean, it's just a bunch of stuff, man, that is going to be revealed. There's a bunch of stuff that's going to come out, and you're just going to have to prepare yourself for it, because it's going to be something different than what you normally would see in this existence.
That's deep too, because I just been talking to people about that who've been kind of going against the grain of what you're exactly saying. But yeah, we'll get on here and do a show about that as well. What do you think?
That'd be such a long show, babe.
I know. That would be long.
It's a long, complicated show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, for sure, because like we say, a lot of people focus on money, and I do understand it's a significant part of people's lifestyle, right? It's your house, it's your clothes, it's your car, it's your kids, it's almost everything that you do. But what many people, and you can see it in their outcomes, what many people fail to understand, that it's just a portion of your life portfolio, right? And I think the first step to money in any situation is mindset. We know that. We've learned that. We understand that. And it's the unlearning of really bad habits that you've taken on.
Acquired over the years.
What years? What's it called?
Formative years.
Your formative years. Yeah. Right? That year 1 to 7. How your mother dealt with financial difficulty, how your grandmother, whoever raised you, right? Did they have money blocks? How did they feel about money? How do they feel about rich people? And it's just a lot of things that we in our 20s, 30s, 40s have to unlearn.
Yeah.
And we spend a significant portion of this show really giving you information in order to unlearn a lot of bad habits, bad ideas, bad decisions, so on and so forth, because we had to unlearn them, unfortunately, the very hard way. Especially with our parenting. We don't parent like our parents did. No shade to our parents, but there was just a lot of room for improvement.
Well, they only knew what they knew. And they only knew what they knew because it was what they was taught.
Right.
Being in the information age that we are in now, with the age of knowing, that the Aquarian age, it's a lot more stuff that's opening up. And if you allow your consciousness to receive, things, and don't shun it away, you'll be able to, navigate through it a little bit better. A lot of people say, money is the root of all evil, and that is absolutely incorrect. The love of money is the root of all evil. The things people do for money is the root of all evil. Some people will do anything and everything for money, and some will do,
but I think,
evil things just to get it. I mean, I just don't want people to think that, because we talk about wealth, and wealth requires money, but don't get it twisted. We're not saying, money. Yeah, that's a part of everyday life, because the system that we was reared in made it so, because they put a value on a piece of paper, or they put a value on certain tangible objects that we try to acquire. But if we try to acquire them for the wrong thing or for the wrong reasons, then that is evil. Point in case, when I believe that, once it's all said and done, by the end of 2025, with the assets that I'm diversified in, I should be doing a lot better than I'm doing right now. I'm not gonna hoard that and look down on people or look at other people like they ain't shit. I'm going to try to make my surroundings and my community around me a little bit better. I'm going to try to do things and acquire things to help people out that aren't as fortunate as me. Now, I'm not going to give it all away. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it wrong. I ain't that type of guy. If you ain't trying to better yourself, I can't help you. if you are trying to help yourself and trying to better yourself and trying to help others and help your family, then I'm all with you. But I got to make sure that my small circle that's inside of this household right here is good. Then I can start reaching out to other people. And that's the mindset that's my mindset. I don't know how other people think. I'm not going to give everything away. I'm going to make sure that we're good and that I have something on reserve. And then once I do that, then I'm going to make sure that whoever I can help, whoever I can bless, that's what I'm going to do, because I ain't looking for it to come back to me. I've been in the service industry the majority of my life. I was in the military. Okay. I was a combat medic. Medics help people. And I was in the fire department. I was an EMT. I'm still an EMT. I'm still certified. My wife's a nurse. I'm a fire inspector. So I still am out with the public, helping the public. I was called. I feel as though I was called by the universe to do what I've been doing for my entire adult life. It's not the majority. Since I was 18, I've been in the service industry. So, and it's been a service to others, So that's one of my things. My goal, my end all goal, once I make these racks on racks, I want to buy a building, or I want to acquire a building and allow my wife to put her vast medical knowledge to work with systems that help the less fortunate. I want to house the less fortunate. It's a place downtown, Gordon.
Courtney Johnson.
What's going on, Courtney Johnson? When I was still on, I was working overtime. I was down at the threes, man. It was downtown. It's this big, gigantic hotel. I forgot the name of it. I don't know if it's not the Cincinnatian, but it's like abandoned, man. It's like, homeless people was breaking in there and living in there. Huh?
They begin with the letter G. You know it.
I forgot what the name of it is.
Is it the Garfield?
I don't know if it's the Garfield or not, but it's right near Garfield, though. It's right near.
It's the Garfield, because it used to
real
attract a lot of homeless people. And
it's
y'all used
real
to get a lot
tall.
of runs there, right?
Yeah, we did.
Huh?
Yeah, we did.
Y'all used to get a lot of runs there.
No, it's not. No, because it's taller than the Garfield. The Garfield is still there.
Garfield. Okay.
But in the bottom of it, you can have all kind of shops. You can have what do they call that? What do they call it when you not first aid, but like clinics? You can have clinics there. You know what I'm saying? And then all the rooms above, like say if I run into millions of dollars, man, I would buy that shit. And then I would approach the city, the state, and the federal government, and ask them to fund me so that I can help with the homeless situation, to where this will be a thing to where in the bottom of it, it will be workshops. It'll be places where people can work, educational places where they can get their GED, and clinics and places to eat, stuff like that. And then for a certain amount of time, like say if you've been homeless for a while and you need a place to stay in order to get back on your feet, 30 to 60 days, this old hotel with all these rooms. I think it's got like about 16 floors, man. It's huge, Gordon. I forgot the name of it. I'm gonna find the name out and I'll let you know, man. Okay. But it's in the threes area.
Running area.
Yeah, it's in the threes running area, man. And we made a run there. And I was looking, and the first thing that came to mind, the universe hit me with it, like, man, you get some money from crypto, you need to do something with this. And if it's still there, I ain't gonna lie. I done told First Lady about that. Yeah, see, that's the negative shit. You see Twitter.
But that's the problem with sharing your vision.
Yeah,
But I do want to run back on something
Crackheads will overrun
So
it. Come on,
Simon
bro.
had
Like I wouldn't
introduced
have security there and shit.
when we talk about unlearning, Simon introduced me to Dr. Neely Fuller. And Dr.
Yeah,
Neely Fuller talks about the 9 areas of
Activity.
activity,
Yeah,
but they're systems, right? And each system is integrative.
Mm-hmm.
So understanding that, what do all of these systems have in common? I'm gonna tell you. And there's multiple things they have in common, but the number one thing they have in common is keeping people reactive, right?
yeah,
This is why I talk about preparation all the time, right? Because you don't want to have to react to a scenario that caught you off guard,
Mm-hmm.
right? So right now, 2024, there's multiple things that could possibly be happening: famine, war, this, that, the third, new virus, new this, new that. And you don't want to be reactive. This is why we talk about stacking your precious metals, right? Because there's the opportunity now for you to utilize it as tender should you need to, right? Should the dollar absolutely go to shit, and you already know that that's what's going to happen, you have other means of taking care of your household. You have other means of managing your lifestyle without having to scramble now and do it.
these guys.
Okay. Not sure where Bitcoin's going to be. It looks like they are slowing Bitcoin down in order for them to get ahead in the Bitcoin, just like
Yeah,
where it's talked about with the ETF,
yeah.
BlackRock, JP Morgan. They're trying to slow it down so that they could somehow, some way get ahead when the ETF is live and active.
Mm-hmm.
But I want y'all, when y'all get a chance, right? Hubby sat down with me for probably a good month with Dr. Neely Fuller's 9 areas of activity.
Yeah.
Some people say that there's 7.
10, if you check out Dr. Frances Cress Welsing,
Thank you.
she might take it
yeah,
to 10. Yeah, you know, so that's good
But the
information.
number one thing that really drives those systems and make it an integrative system is keeping people reactive. That's why the news is always death, destruction, disbodiment, right?
yeah,
It's always like keeping people in fear. It's the terms that they use. Nobody's safe if everyone isn't safe. And they're basically saying if your subconscious understands if then logic is, then nobody's safe and you're not safe,
yeah,
right? Be fearful, be scared. And what we want to do, because this is more than just a money show, this is lifestyle, this is your life portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
One of the main areas you need for your life portfolio is to not be reactive, right? You want to be fully prepared so that when something comes your way, you have time to sit and make a decision about it. You have time to be strategic about it. You have time to make methodical moves. And that's the last thing they want melanated people to be. They want us to be reactive. They want us to be angry. They want us to be marching, right? They want us to be all of these things except for strategic,
yeah,
methodical, right? They don't want us to have time to think. And like I said, if you can see these things coming down the pike, when it get here, you like, yeah, I'm good on that, right?
yeah,
We good. We got what we need here. We got enough food. We got enough this. We got enough that. We have our natural, whatchamacallit supplies. Black people are visual. Courtney Johnson had to comment on the XRP. What banks are using XRP or Ripple? I also want to welcome Twilline Man for Hire. He said reality is negative. But go ahead, Grizz. She asked a question about XRP. I just wanted to just kind of talk to y'all about your life portfolio because it is important.
yeah. Well, a lot of people, you know, they in the comments going buck wild, and that's fine. I'm not a daydreamer, but if you don't have a vision, what are you doing? If you don't think about things, what are you doing? All right. So I don't really care about how y'all think or whatever, because I know what's going on with my life and my lifestyle, and I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So That's fine. Think how you want to think. Um, I wouldn't have a place where, people, where crackheads would be running around and all of that. That's not something that, I would be a part of. You know what I'm saying? I've been in the service industry. I've been in with city governments for the major and state and federal governments for the majority of my career. Um, I wouldn't own or have anything that wouldn't be safe for myself and the people that I either employ or that would be involved with
But
it.
that goes without saying, Chris. You don't
Yeah, I
even have to
know, but
explain.
I mean, the people get on here and they don't know me from Adam, and that's
That's
fine. They may
fine.
be trolling. I
But
don't care,
let's
but
not even eat
I'm
into
not. I'm
that.
not gonna. I'm good. I'm good.
Hmm.
Um, she asked about
Ripple and
Ripple.
XRP.
XRP. Ripple is the company that created XRP. They're not two different things. Ripple is the asset. Okay. I mean, excuse me. XRP is the asset that Ripple created. XRP is a digital asset that provides liquidity from damn near anything to damn near anything. So, like, say if you want to have when you go to fiat, if you have a franc and you need US dollar and you need to convert it, Ripple does it within seconds and it costs less than a penny in order to do that transaction. And it happens like right now. They're getting a T plus zero time frame. The banks that are using it are SBI Holding. This is in Japan. HBSC. The U.S. banks are going to use it because think about it. They need something that you can put things on the XRPL, the XRP ledger, that you can put the debt on, you can put everything on, and you can try to get out of what they have gotten themselves into by printing fiat currency. Okay. It's one of those things to where, something was created that will help you get out of a situation that you put yourself in. And that's what XRP, XLM, XDC is. It's one of those, it's three of those assets that are going to be able to provide liquidity and security for different ledgers and things like that. Let me see. No, I'm asking, what are the banks using XRP? They know XRP is the asset, Ripple is the company. So that when the banks use it, they will be using XRP. Ripple is the company that created it. Courtney or Cryptonomics said Ripple and XRP are two different things. You're right. Ripple is the company, and XRP is the asset that Ripple created. Black Jake Fever. Give me 1 second. Go ahead, y'all. I gotta answer this call.
So Jake Fever had mentioned earlier, Black folks ain't got 2,000 to put in gold, yet alone 42,000 to put in Bitcoin. This is over for them. Have fun being broke. They should have bought the dip. But see, Jake Fever, that's the thing, is that Black people do have it. They just put it towards the not right things, right? When you start looking at the retail consumption, I think we are 2 trillion.
Over the trillion mark.
We're over the trillion mark. So I'm not going to give it 2 trillion because the exponentiality of that is crazy. But we're at least 1 trillion of the retail consumption, right? Don't get me started with Black women and how much we spend in hair, nails, accoutrements and stuff like that. So yes, we do have it. And that is the discipline that we discuss when we say dollar cost average into it, right? It feels overwhelming when you have to take 2, 3, 4 trillion and you live, I'm sorry, 2, 3, 4,000 and you live paycheck to paycheck. It does feel overwhelming. But like I said, January 31st, tax return season. Black women typically have, and I know there's a new set of black women who don't, but black women typically, right, when we look at the standard, they have dependents and they get the earned income credit, and we're talking between 3 and 8,000 US dollars in their tax return, whether they work or not. And that's if they file a return and all of that other stuff. I won't get into that. But tax season is a real thing. It is considered like a bonus check for a lot of us. So yeah, you get your tax return, buy you an ounce of gold. You just cut them off. Why did you touch it? Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. We had technical difficulties. But 42,000 to put in Bitcoin. But if they dollar cost average in the Bitcoin, eventually over time, they should have one Bitcoin. So I get what you're saying, Jake Fever. People do have it. Do you have the discipline to attain it? That is the question.
Cryptonomics is not correct. Ripple is not the payment and settle system. Ripple is the company. The XRP ledger, the XRPL, is the settlement system. Ripple Labs, they don't call themselves Ripple Labs anymore, but Ripple Labs created the asset XRP. All right, XRP is a cryptocurrency. So the settlement system is the XRP ledger. It's the XRPL. All right.
Twill Line Man for Hire said he hasn't met folks that can keep the money in crypto without pulling it back out. I get what you're saying. Hodling is difficult. And like I said, it requires a significant amount of discipline. It requires vision, right? So you have to have a vision for your money and what it's for. This is why we talk about precious metals too. It's a lot more difficult for you to turn in your silver in order to eat it than it is to, just cash out your Bitcoin. So I get what you're saying. It is difficult, and it does require discipline. The economy has gotten significantly more difficult. You have hyperinflation. People have to eat. You have kids. Your kids need clothes. Your kids need this. Mom, it's basketball season. I need this and that and that and the third. So yeah, I do understand what you're saying, but like I said, it requires discipline, but it really requires a vision. If you have a vision at the beginning of the year and you said, this is what I'm doing and I'm not touching it, you are going to spend differently. You're going to make different spending decisions. I don't know how much people make, because sometimes what you make, it isn't enough, right? For certain people. If you only make $27,000 a year, it's not enough. You're going to be paycheck to paycheck. You're probably going to need to touch your assets. So I do get what you're saying, but when we have communities like this that help to inspire you, just give you a bit more understanding, maybe your vision becomes more solidified and maybe you can do better. So it depends from family to family. Banks are not using XRP. That is on a separate ledger. People often make this mistake. XRP is crypto, open to everyone. Banks run totally on a different protocol. I'm just saying. And then Twill Line Man for Hire said, I'm talking about other people. I tried to tell about crypto. My bags are packed. I'm good. Oh, I knew you were talking about other people, Twill Line. And I was just saying in general, it just depends on situation to situation. Right? If somebody, like I said, if they're only making $27,000 a year, and that's a standard line of who makes? The average who?
Average black woman.
Average black woman makes $27,000 a year. I know people be online like, yeah, we make $95,000 a year. You do. Your standard black woman makes $27,000 a year. If she's a single mom, she may get child support, but it may be harder for her to, maintain the discipline needed in order to be a hodler. So it's just situation to situation, but I do get what you're saying. How would a person divide large sums of silver in an emergency or barter situation? This is one of the reasons why we tell y'all to get gold rounds, like 1 ounce of gold, because it's easier, right?
She said silver though.
Silver, that's what I meant. I meant to say silver. I'm sorry, sweetheart. That's why we say, your silver rounds, right? Because that's 1 ounce of silver. It's easier to divide that. It's easier to, there's a word for it. It escapes me.
It's easier divisible.
It's more divisible. That's the word I was looking
also,
for.
you want to look at constitutional silver, because that's even more divisible. When you have constitutional silver, things like that is a way that you can.
Is another way that is even more divisible than the 1 gold ounce.
1 silver ounce.
1 silver ounce. Yeah. I got my mind on gold, y'all. We're going to go get some. KW1, buy different sizes. Ounce, half ounce. Problem is premiums are higher with smaller denominations of silver, and that's true.
It's true.
Right? We've been getting it for so long. I didn't even think about that, but he's absolutely right. So it's how you purchase it, but it's worth the purchase, right? Yes, there's premiums. I consider it a luxury tax. Pay it because you're going to need it. And they
I
say
buy
that.
rounds. I buy rounds and bars. I got, you know, I got the rounds. I got the smaller bars, the medium-sized bars, and the big bars. You know, it's just a matter of what you're able to do. If you can buy rounds and bars, I would do that. My bars is something that is going to be long-term for the family. It's in the trust. You know what I'm saying? If I need to barter, then if I need to barter, then I'll use the rounds. But, you know, and that's in a dystopian situation to where shit's really bad.
It's really bad.
People are going to want to use, you're going to want to use the rounds because it's current. It's not currency, but it's money. It's real money.
Yeah.
When you say crypto, do you mean lead? It says is what we should be saving in silvers up to $8 in 8 years. Do you mean like lead? Like a lead pencil?
It says crypto. He said, Courtney Johnson says crypto and lead is what we should be saving in silver up to $8 in 8 years.
I'm trying to get the lead part.
I don't understand.
Dearbit said, Chief, you're a wealth of info. I enjoy your dreams. They keep me thinking like the Simons. Keep teaching. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You know, it's all good. People are gonna, lead is worth something, cryptonomics. If you got a gun and you got bullets, you got some lead and it's worth something because you're using that shit. If you need to use it, it's gonna be worth something. But I appreciate you, Dearbit. It's all good.
Lead's also kind of dangerous. I wouldn't handle it too much.
Yeah.
It's not silver.
We talked about this on another show. Copper is worth something.
Yes, copper.
If you wanna,
it's not as expensive. When I say, I mean, silver is not expensive, but it's cheaper than silver, but it also has its utilities.
I don't know if she meant
for the industrial use. That's why I was trying to figure out if she knew if she was meaning to say lead.
Well, I know people with larger bars of silver will fill them with lead. So I don't know if that's what she meant.
For an emergency bars.
Why are they filling them with lead?
So it comes out like you weighed it like it was this much silver, but the inside is lead.
No, but that's the fraud in the people.
It sure is, yeah.
Lead and bullets. Okay, gotcha. She didn't mean lead for bullets. She's saying
silver is only up $8 in 8 years, and and the reason why is because the silver market and the gold market has been manipulated and suppressed. You know, they suppressed the shit.
But like I said, Courtney, if you're gonna be collecting lead, it does have its dangers, right? So just be careful in how you handle it. We typically handle our silver a lot for the children. It has great uses in handling it. So I just want to, just kind of mention that, just in case you're in the habit of handling silver, I'm handling gold. Don't handle the lead as much because it does have some dangers to it. So that's really all I wanted to, especially if you have large quantities of it. He said, always keep your bullets and dry store them.
Yeah. Exactly.
Nobody's taking offense, Cryptonomics. We're just having a discussion. Nobody's offended. He might have been offended when y'all shit on his vision, which I would encourage you not to
Man, I,
do. When
I don't
somebody
care.
has a vision, no, I'm just
They
saying, when
can
somebody
let
has a
them.
vision, either stand in agreement with it or don't. But
It doesn't
don't.
matter. That doesn't affect me because they can't affect me.
I understand that, but if you have
If
a
they,
family member, if you have a girlfriend, a significant other, and you're in the habit of doing that, don't be in the habit of doing that, is my point, right? Because the dream is like a child. Really,
yeah,
you
it's
should kind
all
of hold
good.
on to it, let it gestate, and then birth it. But I'm just saying, if you're in the habit of doing
It
that,
was a
it's really
daydream.
something you could reconsider, especially since 2024 is coming up. I just said he was a daydreamer. I never disagreed with it.
It's all
I was,
good.
it's
It's all
not.
good. I ain't the type of person. I'm not the type of person that put good money after bad money. I don't do things like that. If it's
All
something
right.
that if you listen to everything that I said, I would be funded by entities. I wouldn't use all of my assets and all of my money for anything. I'm gonna play the shit the way that the big boys play the shit. I ain't gonna just use all of my stuff and be like, hey, I did this and oh shit, I went broke. Nah. It don't work like that. If
All
I'm in
right,
that,
Jake. We're gonna take the good with the bad. I got you. I get where y'all are going.
yeah,
We'll take the good with the
it's
bad.
all good. It's all good, man. It's all good.
Yeah, let's see what the rest of the chat room got to say. I mean,
We read everything.
no, I'm just saying they want to say something extra because we didn't kept them long again. We always keep them
No,
long.
yep, we're gonna wrap it up. Again, I pray that 2024 brings you guys, in spite of the chaos, brings y'all abundance, prosperity. I pray that your physical, spiritual, emotional health
Trip
is
house.
100%. I pray that whatever you are looking for, you find. I pray that you guys have love, joy, and peace in your households.
Peace and happiness.
I don't know about happiness. Happiness is hard. Joy, I pray that you have joy. I know happiness is come and go. Jake and the
Yeah,
cheap banter is hilarious. It's all love.
some people get in the way of their own happiness.
Yes, they do.
That's all.
Yes, they do.
That's all it is. Some people just get in the way of their own happiness.
Yes, they do. And happiness is as Krishnamurti would say, it's fleeting. So sometimes it's not something that you would look.
Yeah, happiness is fleeting. That's why I don't say
fleeting.
happiness.
So,
but I know joy. Joy cometh in the morning.
Yeah.
So I pray that you guys have as much
Yeah,
joy
and,
as
and for the OGs out here for the health, man, check out that colloidal silver. That's realness,
Yeah.
man. Colloidal silver, man. If you can get your hands on it.
They got that champagne that has the gold flakes in it.
Oh, no, you get expensive.
Yeah, I'm getting expensive now. And they have the restaurant. What do y'all call him? Salt Bay. You know the guy. He be throwing the salt everywhere.
Super expensive.
He's got is $1,500. I know. Don't spend your money on this. But if you are going to spend your money, right, you could at least ingest the gold. And he wraps the steak in this gold paper that's edible. Obviously, gold is edible, right? Because it's supposed to be in the ground with our fruits and vegetables. It's supposed to be in there. But this guy said he had a tomahawk steak. You know how big that is? And it was covered in that gold paper. And I sat and watched him eat every morsel. And then they asked him after, they wanted to know, like, did it bother your stomach or anything? He said the gold actually tastes pretty good. It was like a nice flavor for his steak. So what silver? Colloidal silver. Do I know how to spell it? Probably not.
I think it's spelled like a.
I'm gonna see if I can spell it in the chat for you.
COLL.
I used to be able to get it on Amazon, but
AL.
Oh, look, super. There we go.
Yeah, it's good for you.
Added an extra I. There we go. That I spelled it for you. If you know, you know. Colloidal silver.
Cryptonomics and Jake Fever, we got to get you on the live feed so the chief can
They're
talk.
not gonna come on the live feed. Jake Fever might, but Cryptonomics already said no.
All right. Well, I put it out there.
Yeah, because Jake Fever had his own show. It was the Bitcoin bar with the big, nice Bitcoin
At a bar.
Was it
It's a Bitcoin
champagne?
bar.
What kind of drink was it, Jake? That had the Bitcoin medallion on it. It was pretty dope.
That's whiskey or something.
We watched your show.
Like Hennessy.
He said, "Oh, Jay Fever said he will. Yeah, he would, because he used to be one of our content brothers." All right, Jake Fever, if you can go in the drop down, my email's there, and that way, once you email me, then I can email you. Bitcoin behind the bar. It was Hennessy. It was Hennessy. I thought it was like champagne or something because the bottle was gold. Yes, if you email me, that way I can email you the link to even KW1 knew. I can email you the link for you to join, like Grizz joins. And y'all, I know he's the chief. He's been Grizz for like 20 something years. Y'all bear with me. And when I call him Grizz. But again, I want y'all to bring the new year with wonderfulness. And we will see you in the new year. Yep, next show or so. Yep, and I'll definitely work it out with you beforehand, Jake. So don't worry about that. We love y'all. Bye. Grizz, stay on.